Hello, today it's time to dissect a method of argumentation known as the orgasm. Orgasm? Orgasm, that's right, not that kind of orgasm. ORRRGSSM. I'll explain in a second. But first, if you like this video, be sure to click like and subscribe because there are more like this on their way. Alright, let's get into it. Orgasm is a mnemonic which will help you remember a way of circumventing an argument by means of undermining, poisoning the well, and reputation destruction. Why would anyone do that? Don't we all just want to know the truth? No. Some people think of honest debate as a wonderful way to compare perspectives and learn about the world and find out what's really true. But what happens when you don't have an argument? Or you don't like the truth? Or you just don't want the other person to win? Well, that's when people resort to undermining instead. So what do these letters stand for? Outraging, ridiculing, rallying, reputation destruction, gossiping, shaming, psychologizing, and moralizing. You're probably already getting a sense of where this is headed, but let's take a closer look at each one. In order to find some horrible arguments, I decided to turn to Twitter and look at some of the responses to Trump's latest tweets. There's plenty of examples out there in the world, but Trump has a really magical way of bringing out the worst in people's argumentation skills. Outraging. Wow! Trump is quite literally using Twitter as a way to declare war. Never before in the history of the United States has any president been this unhinged and disrespectful. Ridiculing. Pro tip: war crimes won't make tiny penises any larger. Rallying. Is this moronic, childlike, mentally unstable, incapable of anything but silly tweets really the guy you're willing to risk our democracy and constitution over? Is this really what has you so afraid? Stiffen your spines and defend America. Reputation destruction. Trump can't read. Trump has the vocabulary of a fourth grader. Trump doesn't even know basic U.S. geography. Gossiping. New video shows a racist Massachusetts woman get shredded for her disgustingly racist rant. She gets exactly what she deserves. Shaming. One can't help but feel contempt and deep repugnance. Caging immigrant children, hate-mongering at campaigns, tweet tantrums. He's the global laughingstock. Psychologizing. People fear what they don't understand. They don't want to admit to that, so they say anything that makes sense to them. Insulting a child means nothing. Her passion intimidates them. More fear. Then they lash out. It's sad. Moralizing. Senate Republicans walking out during closing arguments is disgraceful and un-American. Chief Justice allowing it to happen is equally reprehensible. ORRRGSSM. Together, these make up the orgasm strategy. Although for the sake of completeness, let's also throw in denying, disapproving, propagandizing, undermining, and face over truth. The orgasm strategy could be called a herd strategy because it's about rallying together a herd and outcasting anyone who dissents. It rewards approval, herd safety, and feigned moral superiority to the in-group, while it dishes out disapproval, exclusion, and reputation destruction to the out-group. This is also a feminine strategy because it relies on safety in numbers. The truthful strategy, which is the masculine strategy, could also be called the pack strategy because it rewards merit and establishes hierarchy within the in-group. And it punishes liars, cheaters, and those who are too incompetent to engage in truthful competition. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that all men engage in truthful speech and all women engage in rallying and shaming. And likewise, sometimes a good orgasm requires an orgasm in response. So ridiculous. Greta must work on her anger management problem. Then go to a good old-fashioned movie with a friend. Chill, Greta, chill. Ultimately, though, the goal isn't to get lost in a battle of name-calling and moralizing, but to dismiss the orgasmic arguers, and then establish again the conversation in truth. Men generally make an argument and let the argument do its work. Feels versus reals. The orgasm is meant to stir emotions and feelings. The more empirical approach is to separate truth from falsehood and let reality speak for itself. Remember, orgasm is a means of denying or suppressing the argument, rather than refuting it. If someone responds to you with an orgasm, that's a good clue that they don't actually have an argument, or that they're just not capable of engaging in good faith. Dismiss the orgasm for what it is, an emotional outburst meant to obscure the truth. In Western history, orgasms were largely illegal by restrictions on libel, slander, and even scolding. Yes, there is a history of restricting women's outbursts, of gossiping and undermining. During the last century, as women demanded political power, these very restrictions have been undermined under the pretense of free speech, leaving a culture of commonplace public orgasms. Greco-Roman European argumentation is not based on a philosophy of totally unrestrained speech. Rather, it is a tradition of truthful, factual speech, testimony, reason, and science. Orgasm is a means of dishonesty. So it comes down to face over truth, or truth over face. You notice how every person who is racist is either fat, ugly, bald, and looks like is suffering from a midlife crisis? You never see an attractive racist, because there aren't any, because only ugly people are racist. In this example, it doesn't matter if there are genetic or cultural differences between races. All that matters is that if you try to argue a position they don't like, they will respond by attacking your appearance, character, and reputation. A high-trust civilization is vulnerable to orgasms because of an excess of tolerance. But there is no need to tolerate other people's orgasms. Truth over face is the reason for the Western miracle, for the development of science, for the overcoming of many kinds of disease, poverty, ignorance, and superstition. So if you find yourself in an argument and something doesn't quite feel right, consider if maybe you're witnessing an orgasm. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more, I suggest you check out propertarianism.com.